So far, this year has been a very, very strange year when it comes to Modern Warfare 2 for a couple of reasons, but the one that we're talking about today is leaks. Generally speaking, when it comes to Call of Duty, when a new season reloaded, or even big updates happen within Call of Duty, data miners go into the game, look at the game files, and see what is coming next. However, within Modern Warfare 2, they haven't seemingly done that. I don't know if that's because they had a lack of content planned, but that being said, a lot of things like ranked play rewards or future operators, maps, things like that have not got leaked in the way that they have in previous Call of Duty games. We have seen leaks regarding various different maps, remastered maps coming back, and small things like that until now. As of Season 2 Reloaded, we have got a bunch of new leaks regarding the game. Some of the biggest ones include the new operators that are coming to the game. Their game files are now there. On top of that, big changes coming to DMZ and some Warzone stuff as well. So essentially in this video, we're going to go over what these leaks are, what is coming in the future of Modern Warfare 2, and what you can expect moving forward. And there's quite a bit of it for the first time since pretty much the game is released, so that's pretty cool. But before we dive into that, I first have to tell you about today's video sponsor. Have you been in an accident or injured and don't know where to start? Well, with Morgan & Morgan, it is so easy. There's a ton of hassle when it comes to searching for a lawyer, spending hours in meetings, dealing with paperwork. Hiring a lawyer is a pain. But it's not with Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan has modernized the injury law process so you can submit a claim and have it be reviewed by a lawyer without ever having to leave the couch. You can sign documents, upload pictures, share medical records, and doctor's bills all from your phone. The last thing you want to do when you're injured is get up off the couch, have to go into a law office, but with Morgan & Morgan, you could submit your claim with just 8 clicks or less. More than 3 million people have trusted Morgan & Morgan when they have been injured, so why shouldn't you? So if you're ever in an accident, you can get started at forthepeople.com or dial #law, that's #529 from your cell phone. And thank you Morgan & Morgan for sponsoring the video. So all of the leaks that we're looking at today come from someone by the name of Codsploits. He essentially went into the game files, saw some things, and that is what we are going to be talking about. Starting off with the operators. This is the one that you could probably tell by the thumbnail of the video. There are 3 new operators that have been found within the game files. Each of them pretty telling as to where the story is moving going forward. The first of which is the most obvious, and that is of course Alex. With the addition of the second raid in Season 2 Reloaded, we saw Alex make a big return, joining up with Farah, Price, and Gaz, reuniting Task Force 141 almost fully. Now, when we go back and look through the history of Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2019 seemingly did what Modern Warfare 2 is doing now. With the first season, they brought in new characters with Nikto and Mara, and then as the seasons went on, we saw the introduction of characters that we know before and move the story forward. For example, in Modern Warfare 2019, Season 3 brought Alex. It seems as though in Modern Warfare 2, Season 3 is going to bring Alex. The other 2 characters that we have and know are coming, the first of which is Alejandro Vargas, a fan favorite from the campaign, and one we kind of knew was coming eventually. With his introduction in the campaign, his great acting job essentially made him a shoo-in to continue and move forward within Task Force 141 and being the leader of the Los Vaqueros. Now, the final one is a little bit more confusing because the final one is Valeria. Now, as far as she goes, she's essentially Alejandro Vargas's counterpart. They work together at one point, but after becoming El Sonombre, she is essentially a bad guy working with Alcatala, and we have yet to see a bad guy be introduced as an operator within Modern Warfare 2. Completely the opposite of what we saw with Black Ops Cold War. So it might be the first of its kind if she is introduced as a bad guy as one of the playable operators, and maybe the start of introducing other characters like Commander Philip Graves or even General Shepard. So as far as operators goes, those are the 3 that were found within the game files. The next things that we're going to move into is DMZ and Warzone. As far as Warzone goes, there is not much there other than new assets found for Plunder. If you didn't hear, at some point during Season 3, Plunder is going to be coming out, and there were some audio files regarding money and things like that that will be happening within that. So we know it's coming, but that was already confirmed. Now, moving into DMZ, this is where things get interesting and the big changes are seemingly happening. Speaking of which, I actually have some solo DMZ DMZ gameplay up on the second channel. If you want to check that out, it'll be linked down in the description as well as after the video. It's just a little bit different, some live commentary. If you're interested in that kind of thing, be sure to check out that channel. There's lots going on over there. But as far as DMZ goes, there's something new coming to the game. The first thing that was found is something called bartering contracts to build faction reputation. So as we know, there are different types of factions within DMZ. Now, these factions include things like the Crown, White Lotus, Black Mao, things that we already know are in the game. The interesting thing about it is on the map, there's really only two factions, Alcatala and Shadow Company. Now, these bartering contracts are supposed to build your faction reputation, and then the higher your reputation is for each factions, there's going to be faction buy stations on the map, as well as faction locations where you can either have friendly or hostile enemies based off of your reputation. Now, there isn't currently soldiers on the map for Black Mao, for Crown, or anything like that. It's just Shadow Company and just Alcatala. So are we going to see factions like those two introduced into the game? Now, it's interesting to have a look at this because this could then give the idea that Alcatala and Shadow Company are added as factions, and then you have to increase their reputation, maybe based on challenges, these reputation contracts, things along those lines. It's a very interesting concept and something that will definitely change the way DMZ works. It would be very weird to all of a sudden have AI fighting with you as opposed to against you. Now, obviously DMZ is only in beta, and when I look at the game and I enjoy playing it, when you look at it though, the only real replayability of DMZ is in fact the faction missions. It is the real progression of DMZ. There's not like a DMZ level. You don't really get that much more the more you play. Yes, you get keys and things like that, but it doesn't really improve your soldier as a whole aside from your insured weapon slots. So the replayability comes with the challenges. So they're obviously trying to find a way to increase replayability, and these faction missions increasing your reputation can obviously be a big one for that. But my question when it comes to this is, what exactly is the end game with this? Okay, you do these faction missions, you unlock your insured slots, and then you get these bartering contracts where you can increase your faction reputation. What is the end game? Once you have insured weapon slots and you've completed the challenges, there is nothing else to do there. You can't keep things that you get in game. Yes, you can keep keys and things like that, but overall, once you're done with DMZ, you're kind of just done. There isn't really an end game. There should be two parts to it. There should be the faction, aka the story part of it, the campaign part of it, if you even want to call it that, and then the end game. DMZ does not have an end game. The way I almost look at it is DMZ is kind of the end game for the campaign, if you want to look at it that way. I really think there needs to be something like a marketplace or something like that with the in-game currency where you can buy things, where you can build out a better soldier, buy attachments, things like that. Honestly, I hate to say it, but more like Escape from Tarkov than we currently have in the game, like we thought they were doing in the first place. But I don't know. The game definitely needs to be a more refined, simplex version of Escape from Tarkov, but how they do that with the end game of it, I don't really know. You can let me know what you think down in the comments. But those are the leaks that we know from now. We've got 3 new operators, big changes to DMZ, and of course Plunder coming. Maybe we're going to get more as we get more updates and closer to season 3, and if we do, I will keep you guys updated. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel, have notifications on. Let me know what you think down in the comments. And as always, thank you so much for watching. And until next time, peace out.